Hello Tubesters, it's Gav yet again with another video. Thanks for stopping by and taking a look. This is a collection of 10mm wargame figures that I've been steadily painting up over a couple of years. Sorry for shaky cam. I don't own a drone to fly over this battlefield, so you'll just have to put up with the shaky cam. No tablecloth. The reason the little chaps are out on the table is I was doing a bit of a paint and chat with my Mara Mick from the MGH 1636 channel. Please go and check him out. And we were just talking about, I was painting my commercial figures for somebody, and he was painting his own, and we were just talking about different figures, armies, bits of history and stuff. And I thought I didn't want to get my these obviously two separate armies I'll go into in a second. I didn't want to get them all out on the table until I'd got some type of proper cover and a few other bits of terrain. As you can see with the size of the table, it would be a very quick battle probably. I haven't played any war games for probably 3 or 4 years, and even then it was only for about 9 months at a club. I don't believe Mick's played at all. He's got a huge table and he's ranking different armies up, and he's saying one day he'd like to have a game with them. So Mick, this is my invitation to you, Mara, if you want to come down from Bolton to the sunny West Midlands and have a game with these. We've got the Williamite, King James War in Ireland, although this whole force will be used for what we call the League of Augsburg period. But basically at the moment it's the War in Ireland, 1689, 1991, around that time period. Please don't start putting down any hate comments one side or the other. Yes, it's still a raw subject, but it's a subject for the time period and the uniforms I happen to like. The comments will just disappear if there's any nasty ones put down, or even getting too nitty gritty into it. I'm not going to give you individual names of regiments at the moment, because one of the reasons that they're out on the table now is because I've got an hour to spare, and I realised I hadn't actually gone and wrote down all the names of the regiments, and so I'm literally going to have to go through my Facebook posts and go through all the names of the regiments and put them down so I know who's who, because after this length of time it's fairly well scattered, especially in my head. We've got on the right here a slightly larger army of King Williams. Now, I haven't got King William on the field of battle. He's still halfway painted from about a year ago, so him and his command needs to be done. But we do have over here, where is he? There somewhere. We have the Duke of Schomberg. I can't remember if I've just said these are 10mm figures. Pendraken, these ones are, or pendraken. Let's give out a bit. These guys here, these should all be documented on my YouTube channel, but these guys are definitely Dutch, and they're anchored to the Duke of Schomberg there. He's as they are, very effective troops. But literally, the Williamite force is a hodgepodge of hastily raised English, Welsh regiments. There were a few Scottish as well, I believe, although there's none on the field of battle here that I've painted. Let's see if we can get in a bit closer. These are all your little 10mm. I've got obviously this is just a kitchen table, and obviously the type of lights I've got there. Should have waited till I got those fancy LEDs, but never mind. I just wanted to, before I start naming, I thought, let's throw some terrain down, let's make it look the part. Over here, we've got King James's army in Ireland. I haven't got any French on the field. There was a brigade of French, not particular, although better trained slightly. There is a question whether they were really any better trained than the raw Irish troops, because the King Louis, as usual, had scraped the barrel. He'd kept all his best troops in Europe fighting King William and his allies, and more or less sent over to Ireland the scrapings of the barrel. That's some people's train of thought anyway. But no, so there's not there's not any French, the French brigade aren't represented, I haven't got round to those yet. So your King James's troops in Ireland were mainly Irish levies, some of the gentry, Catholic gentry from the, because it was in Ireland particularly, it was a religious war really, as well as obviously King James under the prodding of his cousin King Louis to try and get his throne back. Here we've got here, sorry about all this, I'm going to do a better video in the next few days probably of all these guys. They're obviously putting a cannon together. It's a very, very colourful army. Although you can't make much out at the moment. Let's see again if we can get in a bit closer, although we're going to get in the rear view of them. Bit of scrap of white paper there in some of the hats. Denotes them as Jacobite. And I've got green. At the Boyne it was a scrap of white paper in the hats for the Jacobites, and a sprig, a branch sprig, or even grass if you had to, of green in the Williamites. Because obviously there wasn't a set uniform of this period, it was only just starting to get into the famous, say British red coats and that. Red is quite a predominant uniform on both sides, because obviously King James's regiments were in Ireland were obviously still dressed in the red of the British at the time. Red with the madder was a cheaper colour to produce, I believe. But we've got in King William's guys over here. We've got, I do believe, Danish by the look of them, Protestant Danish troops. It was actually halfway through the war, they went into winter quarters, the Williamite force, and they suddenly realised that in the French Huguenot, I mean these could be Huguenots as well, they had a lot of French Huguenot mercenaries which are Protestants that had been kicked out of France, France being a Catholic country under King Louis, and they realised they got a load of Catholic French deserters in their ranks. And of course, when they got into winter quarters, King James's army, being quite low on trained troops, was trying to get them to come over. And under pain of death, they went through. Everybody had to swear they were either Protestant or not. And if you were a Catholic, they literally sold them to, kept them. Again, it's the classic period. Why waste trained soldiers? So they sold them to I believe, the fight was going on in northern Italy. And it was thought, well, with Catholic troops over there. I mean, it was such a mixed up war. I mean, you even had the Pope giving a papal bull to King William, who was a Protestant and an arch enemy of the Catholics. A couple of larger guns there. They're metal gabions. That's the wicker basket frames there. I've actually learnt from that. I really should have put those on a separate base. Really, it was a bit too cluttered. But you live just like my modelling and whatever. You live and learn. I don't know what else to show you really without making it. As I say, if you want to go back, you'll see my videos on these anyway, somewhere in the deep dark recesses of my channel. As I say, I've got them out on the table just. I thought I'd finally got to get some names to these regiments, should I ever get a game out of them. Well, that's a nice bit of table anyway. Nice bit of oak, that is. Oakland furniture, there you go, give me a... buildings are battle scale. Cracking little solid buildings they are, resin. Painted by me, based by me. And again we've got some, where are we? Here we go, smaller house. The sticky up trees are just cheap Chinese trees, but they did the job. But I love the 10mm scale. You can still paint them nice. Yes, I know you can't get the same painting details as a 28 or anything like that. But this is a kitchen table, it's not a big one. And they take up, let's see if we can go back. So we're talking, the roads are by Fat Franks, and not done by me. These stone walls, they're battle scale as well. So there we go, guys. I just wanted to give you, I've got them out on the table for the first time ever in about 3 years, and I just thought we'd get the little guys out. I've got a small force of Confederate ACW as well, which I'm painting up, helping to catch. Being on the Union side more myself, I will be getting around to the Union side, but the Confederates are a lot brighter to paint up. The painter in me enjoys painting them. So guys, that's my Williamite and King James force for the League of Augsburg. They would be played to Beneath the Lily Banners 2 rules. Yes, it's an older set of rules now. My figures aren't based on anything particularly, 30 by 30 bases throughout the units, apart from the wagon trains here with a, no, that's not a bunch of rabbit drop-ins or grapes, they're supposed to be cannonballs. But yeah, there's me, a few sacks of grain or whatever. They're actually Boer War, supposed to be Boer War things from Pendraken, but I've put them into my army as as what they are. So guys, thanks a lot for stopping by and taking a look. Sorry about the shaky cam, lack of light, lack of ideas, but before I start the long laborious process tonight of getting all these named and putting back in their magnetic boxes, I just wanted to show them off. So Mick, you want to come down anytime, Mara? Bring your ruler and your dice, and we'll we'll see what carnage we can create, as long as I can be on the Williamite side. Take care, guys. Thanks for stopping by and taking a look.